man of the land. Doesn't sound too bad.
Nation. Oh, isn't that nation?
Farmer.
Aretz? Oh, it's nation? Aretz is nation? Land.
Is a nation.
Oh, nation of the land. Nation of the land, I'm sorry. Nation of the land.
Okay. Okay, we're starting a new paragraph. Is different levels of giving tzedakah. Rambam says that there is 8 levels of giving tzedakah. Oh.
8 levels?
8 levels of giving tzedakah. Now, what does it mean? Levels. That means that first one is the best way, and then it goes lower until the eighth level is the worst. What's the best way to give tzedakah? First level is called vehechzaktabo. It says in the Torah, if you see a Jew who is experiencing shortage of financial problems, you should help him before he gets to the level where he's poor. For example, by giving a poor person a gift, a loan, finding him a job in your business, other employment, then you're doing this mitzvah. Ideally, this action should be taken prior to one's reaching the point of poverty. But even if the person was already poor, you could still do all these things. By giving tzedakah in this matter, one fulfills the mitzvah of echzaktabo, helping to strengthen one in need. Anything that would allow the individual to become self-sufficient would fall into this category. So, basically, поставить, кто-то может просто. Если поставить человека на ноги, if you're helping out, giving him a loan that he needs, or giving him money to start a business, to get a degree or whatever, helping him on a monthly basis, just for his expenses, is the highest mitzvah of tzedakah, because this way you're helping him for life.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Let's say you know somebody whose husband passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they need money for, like, they can't pay bills, whatever. And they have a shoemaker business. Let's say you want to give them your maaser. Is it better to give them your maaser, or to hire them to do some kind of work for you to make them feel like they earned it?
Every case is different. It depends. If they could work, they have profession, then it's best to give them a job.
I'm saying if they have a shoemaker thingy, you spend that much money on whatever, or more because of the service
of course.
you're getting.
If you could camouflage and to give them the same amount of money, but as if they're earning it, honestly.
Do you have to give more if you're getting a service out of it?
You want to know if you could use your master money to get service for someone?
I'm saying if you end up getting a service for it, do you have to give more?
Yeah.
You start off with master, that's what I'm saying.
I started with myself. I'm thinking if you're getting.
If you wouldn't otherwise get the service, you're only doing it because then it's.
Oh, fine.
Okay, so first level we figured out. It's pasuk in the Torah. By the way, each level is in the Torah. This is very rare. Usually you have like midaraita, then midrabanan. Over here, each one of the 8 levels is midaraita. Second level, and you will see in a minute why it's not like the first one. The second level is tzedakah, where the benefactor does not know the identity of recipient and the beneficiary does not know the identity of benefactor. In other words, like this. The first level is when you're not giving tzedakah, but you're literally helping out another person to stay on his feet. Second level, you're not supporting, you're not giving a lot of money, you're just giving a certain amount of money. But what makes it a preferable way? The one who's getting it doesn't know who gave, and the one who gave doesn't know who got it. This way, obviously, what do we gain? The ani, the poor person, is not embarrassed. He doesn't know who he gave. Who gave him.
Both parties don't know.
Both parties doesn't know. The third level of tzedakah is where the benefactor knows who is receiving the money, but the beneficiary does not know. Now, third level is a little less. Why? Because the benefactor knows who is getting, but the beneficiary doesn't know. For example, Rambam says that our Chachamim, old ones, they used to come. We have cases, stories like that in the Gemara, come to the poor people's house at night, and they would leave money or food by the door. This is the third level. The one who gave, he knew who he gave to, but the one who took didn't know who gave him. Even if the poor person wants to know who the benefactor is, the person may say that it's his own money in order not to upset the poor man by revealing the true identity of the benefactor. Let's say you gabay tzedakah, you brought it, and he wants to know who gave it to you. You can say, it's my own money, whatever. Not to, you could, so to speak, not divulge, not disclose the identity of the giver if he doesn't want. Fourth level is giving tzedakah when the benefactor does not know who the recipient is, but the poor people knows who the benefactor is. Now, one level lower than that is when the one who's giving, he doesn't know, but the one who's taking knows. Rambam says that in olden days, the Chachamim used to put behind their back, like in their briefcase, they would put money, and someone would pass by and they would take it.
What about thieves?
Thieves were also included, but it was still preferable because this way they didn't know who took it. The fifth level is where one gives to a poor person before he asked for help. In other words, over here already we know who is giving, we know who is taking, but this is still a category to itself because the person who gave, before he was asked.
Rabbi, I have a question.
Yeah.
All this stuff applies to Jewish people asking or giving to Jewish people, right?
Mhm.
Is there a mitzvah to give to non-Jewish people besides Kiddush Hashem?
No. Only Kiddush Hashem is that the only mitzvah, yeah. But we're talking about Jewish people.
Purim maybe, no?
Nah. Still only because of Kiddush Hashem, because of Darkei Shalom. It's not Kiddush Hashem even, it's called Darkei Shalom, so there should be peace between Jews and the Goyim. So the sixth level is where he gives to a poor person only after he asked. This is only the sixth level. He only gives after he asked them, he gave. Seventh level, he gives to a poor person some of what he needs, yet he gives it happily. In other words, there is also a concept to give a person what he needs. In other words, let's say a person needs right now $100,000 for down payment for this house, and you could give him $100,000. Your ma said it's $100,000. You have to give him $100,000.
It's a wealthy person,
We're talking about a wealthy person. His ma says $100,000, and someone who needs a house came over to him. He has to on the spot give him $100,000.
What's wrong with renting?
But Rabbi,
Okay, that's a different question. I was just maybe renting, but still, you know that renting is not the same as owning.
Yeah, but rent,
Rabbi.
okay, how long you gonna rent? Give them for 1 month?
How could no one ever give you money for rent? You work, you earn your money, and you pay your rent.
It's not a perfect example.
More trouble.
Because
I
maybe you're right. It's not.
Isn't there a
It's not.
mitzvah?
I just meant let's redefine the need.
I need a new car, I need the money, right? Yo, Master, give me the... What are you talking about?
Let's redefine the need. Then what's the need?
Need, not want.
I wanted to guess a case of need. I thought that you're right. Today in America, maybe it's not considered owning a house is not a need, but the food, clothing, shelter, right, is need.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about that. But it's a valid point. The need, but whatever. If the need would be $100,000, then the road person. In other words, there's a concept of giving what he needs, but sometimes you cannot give him what he needs. Or maybe the cases where he could give, but he decides not to give. Really, he could give him what he needs. Now, I think that's more correct way. Because otherwise, if he can't give him what he needs, he cannot supply the full need, then why was saying that it's seventh level? It's one level above the worst one. But obviously, he could give him, but he decides not to give, but at least he gives them with a smile and with happiness. Let's just finish off. I'll take questions. And the 8th level is when he doesn't give him everything he needs, and he also gives him begrudgingly with a frown. So you see that. So he gave him something. He gave tzedakah, but it's a lowest level because he also gave him with the frown. So this is the 8 levels. Rambam speaks about it, and if each one of the levels is midaraita, each one is a good level. In fact, the 8th level is why is still good. Why is still good tzedakah? You didn't give him everything. You gave him with a frown because at least you gave. So each one is good. We'll talk about it out of place later. Yeah. Any questions, quickly?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mark, you can.
I got it wrong.
I'll
Good night,
see.
guys.
Isn't there a bigger mitzvah to give? Let's say you have $100,000 to give to tzedakah, right? Isn't it a bigger mitzvah to give $1 to 100,000 people than to give one person $100,000?
Okay. Rambam says like you. Rambam says that you should give many times even less than what. But if a poor person came to you and he said, "I need $100," or "I need $1,000," or "I need $10,000 for like a wedding," you can't all of a sudden you shouldn't, and you have $10,000, then you should give $10,000 for the wedding, and you can't say, "Oh, Rambam says that I should give dollars, so I won't ever help anybody in the real way." Because I want to do this mitzvah of... Rambam is talking about the case where there is no poor people right now who need money. You're just giving as a matter of every day.
I have a question, so a practical question, a more practical question. Let's say you go to a shul, right? And you're davening, and 25 people come in to collect, right? One guy's collecting for a wedding, everyone else is just collecting for who knows what.
Right.
The guy who has a wedding to collect has priority
Yeah.
over the money you would give him, saying, let's say you have $20 to give.
I would think so, yeah.
The guy who's making the wedding, and you tell everyone else you don't
But
have?
practically speaking, everyone is doing something. Everyone has the wedding or the medical bills or problems.
So which one goes first? How does
So
that
I don't
work?
know how to decide between them, but they all have very good
We're
stories.
saying at the
not
time
like-
of davening, you're not going to sit there evaluating stories who comes first.
So that's why you just give a quarter or a dollar,
But
whatever.
what if the
you
guy
put
says,
it
I
on.
have a whatever?
Pick one, do your obligations, move on with your life.
Okay, Chazak Baruch.
No, I'm asking because it's not simple questions.
Make them play a lottery. Whoever picks out his name.
Pick a number 1 to 20.
There's also a concept where people
Make
they
them run
collect
for-
tzedakah in the tzedakah boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
And some say that it's not good to do that because while you're collecting, it might be that somebody actually needs, let's say, $1 or $2, and that's all they need. And you sitting there saving up $100, let's say, before you give it. And
At home, you mean at home?
yeah,
Someone has...
it might be already too late for that person, something like that.
Yeah. No, this ties in. There's two concepts. One is if a real person comes to you with a real need right now, and there is a concept that every single day you should give tzedakah also, even if there's no real person who needs it. There's no. It's in the Gemara. There's a concept. No poor people. Everyone Baruch Hashem is good. Like today in America, I don't know. I think everyone is good, right? I hope. So then we still have to give tzedakah. but to put it away until the poor people come. That's why we have these boxes where we put it away.
So we should have like two separate collectible boxes. Yeah, one for immediate distribution and one for lump sum distribution.